I'm back, bitches. Hey, Square Bears. Long time no see. Like, what's the tea, girl? Where have you been? It's been like months. What's going on? You guys, please forgive me. I feel like every time I'm uploading here on YouTube, I'm apologizing for taking like some huge, obnoxious break from you guys. I miss you guys so much. But if you guys have been following any of my other social media pages, you would have known that I started back and finished cosmetology school. I only had like roughly 9 weeks left in the program, and I started way back in the beginning of July, finished off at the end of September, had a little vacation in between. But I've been hardcore like focused on that, and I just could not find the time to not only record the video, but obviously like edit it and upload it for you guys on a fairly regular basis. So I just decided to kind of get my mind focused on school and just finish it off and finish it off strong. So that's what has been taking up the last part of my time. And since I graduated, I have actually started working in a salon here in the city that I am, well, not really directly in the city that I live. It's a city roughly 20 minutes from where I live. And I've just been getting my feet wet, being familiar with salon life, and actually working with someone and really for someone after working for myself primarily for the last 5-6 years. So it's just, I've had an adjustment period that I had to make. I feel like out of all the excuses that I've given you guys so far, I think that this by far is the best excuse. So you guys will definitely forgive me. If you guys can tell by the title of this video is very specific as to how I am wearing my hair under my lace frontal units. I have been rocking lace frontal units for like months and months and months now. Prior to that, the only units that I would really be comfortable with are just like the regular units that have like the lace closures. I love the versatility that you get with the lace frontal, but I never really got comfortable with wearing lace frontal units really until recently. And that was after I just got familiar with like the mechanics of it, the capabilities of it, and actually creating my own units with lace frontals and all that. So with that trial and error, I have tried several different braid patterns under my wig units, and up until recently I really did not care about the importance of my braid pattern under the wig. I just didn't care. As long as my hair was braided, I don't care if it was 4 cornrows, 2 cornrows, or 10 cornrows. As long as it was under there and it was flat and it wasn't gonna make my wig sit 2 feet off of my head, that was the main goal. And in a way, I still kind of feel the same way, but I wanted to show you guys the most effective braid pattern that I like doing under my lace frontal unit specifically. I'm not gonna try to hype it up and make it seem like it's this intricate braid pattern that you gotta have, you know, 15 years of braiding experience to even grasp or anything. They are some straight backs. They're straight backs. They're straight back cornrows. But what I love about the simplicity of the straight backs is that it's relatively easy to do, and it does offer the most versatility that you can think of when it comes to wearing a unit with a lace frontal. And I get more into detail throughout the rest of the video, so I'm not gonna further complicate it. You'll see it in the rest of the video. Before we get started though, I will tell you that the hair that I am rocking for this particular unit that I made, this is from Milk and Honey Hair. Beautiful, gorgeous Brazilian straight hair. I absolutely love it. This is in the natural color. It's a relatively dark, natural black color. Like, it's almost really, really black. So for this unit, this is gonna be my dark horse. So she's gonna be jet black very soon. But yes, this is the Brazilian straight. I think the lengths are 22, 20, 18, and the closure is the 18 as well, and I cut some layers in it, so I have roughly about not even 3 full bundles in it. The closure is not only a frontal, but it is a 360 frontal. So I got the 360 frontal from Milk and Honey Boutique as well. I know that I talked you guys' head off enough, I'm sorry, okay? But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the rest of the video. Oh, this feels so good. Oh my God, there's nothing like that feeling of being able to physically access your scalp under all that weave. I also also realized that I probably have never showed you guys my real hair on this channel. I have revealed my real hair years ago on my Miss Chris 82 channel, which is, I want to say, officially inactive because I have not uploaded anything on that channel since I launched Beauty MC Square back in 2012, maybe 2013. Like, I literally have abandoned that channel, and I'm sorry about that. I just realized as a result of me abandoning that channel, like totally starting this channel over here, a lot of my subscribers for the Miss Chris 82 channel are unaware that I switched channels over here. So yeah, I need to do something about that. But that's neither here nor there. I just said that to say this. I showed my hair a few years ago on the Miss Chris 82 channel, and at that point I was completely natural. I just did like a transition from relaxed to natural, clipping off my relaxed ends as my hair grew out throughout the months or throughout the years at that point. And since then I have did another sort of big chop on my hair and put a relaxer back in my hair. Rocked a pretty severe haircut. I kind of get that itch for some shears to go in my head and chop things off, and a couple of years back I just was determined to say that that was the last time I was going to cut my hair. So my hair is natural, and this is as a result of about 2.5 years of growth. No relaxed ends or anything. So this is my hair, you guys. So let's get started on the hair. I always have a rat tail comb, fine tooth rat tail comb, and that helps me for obviously parting out the sections and making sure that all of my crinkly, curly, beautiful, coily hair is nice and detangled prior to adding the cornrows to my hair. You can have a clip, but I use these elastic bands, these cloth elastic bands, to kind of separate whatever hair I'm not braiding from the pre-section parts for my cornrow, so it just kind of helps get my hair out of the way. And lastly, I use some kind of heavy oil or grease for the hair to kind of help lubricate the hair as I cornrow it. It also allows me to keep all the hair in place as I cornrow it. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't usually use beeswax, but this is the first thing that's more readily available since I'm kind of doing some late spring cleaning in my home. So I'm using this Dax Black Beeswax for that. Typically I would use like some Argan Oil Edge Control. It's an edge control, but it's kind of like a cross between a heavy grease and a gel. So something that's going to give me a nice sticky grip to my braids. Now my hair has been detangled with the wide tooth comb, and I went through it again with like a Denman brush just to make sure that I don't have like real live snags or knots or anything in my hair. So that's why it's okay for me to use this fine tooth comb for the styling portion of this video. I'm looking into my mirror right here, so if you see me turning this way, I guess it makes it like a better view for you guys. And what I do with the cornrows is, like for my hair and probably many women's hair, the hair around my edges are a little bit shorter. They're not really long and thick and full. I'm really restoring my hair a lot. So my hair around the edges or the perimeter of the head is a lot shorter and it's a lot finer. So I try not to pull it or grip it or put any real tension on it. So for whatever I can't easily grip into the cornrow, I just kind of leave it alone. And at the end of adding all the cornrows in my hair, I just use a little, you know, light oil to kind of keep it lubricated, and maybe edge control to lay it down if I need it. I really don't worry about edge control since this is pretty much a braid pattern to go under wigs. So with that being said, this little corner right here, I'm not gonna even worry about adding that to my cornrow. So I'm just gonna pre-section the hair to prepare it for my cornrow. It's probably easier that you have like more than one mirror so you can see the front, the side, and in the back if you're doing this on your own. But if you're not really too, I guess, anal about how straight the parts are, like I'm not, then it really shouldn't even matter. Now I have some short hair in the very nape area of my head, and if I can't easily grip it without pulling and tugging and causing any real tension, I don't worry about braiding that either. So I'm all about making this as comfortable as possible. So I'm going to take my cloth elastic band and just pull the rest of my hair in a ponytail to keep it away. Then I'm going to take some of my beeswax and I'm going to apply it to the hair that is away from the part, just to make sure that there's no stray hairs that's going to climb into this braid. And then I'm just going to use the residual that's on my hand and run it through the section of what my cornrow will be. I'm piecing out that little area right there because I want to make sure I do not braid it. And for everything else, I just start my cornrow. You want to make sure that the tension is only on the actual cornrow and not like pulling the hair from the scalp. Also, that product makes it so much easier for you to control your tension to make sure like the cornrow itself is tight, but you're not pulling it from the scalp like you're pulling your brains out. So I'm gonna take it all the way down. Whatever short pieces is left, I just make sure I push it away from the braid so I don't pull on it too much. And then I'm just gonna braid this all the way to the ends. So I'm going to move on to the next cornrow, and as I go through to about, I would say almost 3/4 of the way down with the cornrow, I add the tail end of this braid to the new cornrow. That the parting is as clean as possible. It's hard for me to be like super neat as far as if it's like seamless all the way through, but if you make sure that it's very clean, which means that there are no stray hairs, as you know, allowed access from the pre-parted area to the cornrowing area, like that's your major concern. So just try to take your time with it. So I'm going to begin the second cornrow. Again, I'm going to be very, very careful with the fact that my hair is very, very fragile, as most people's hair is, around the perimeter, and I'm not going to pull too tight. So I'm going to attempt to just simply cornrow it, and if this hair pops out of the cornrow, I'm going to let it pop out. I'm not going to try to stretch it and make it fit. I'm just going to take my time and cornrow. Baby steps, baby steps. An easy way to kind of control your tension is if you take your time. I don't care how skilled you are with braiding, you're almost always going to pull your hair if you find yourself kind of rushing and speeding through the process, because you're not really aware of how tight you're pulling the hair. You're just like bop, 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 bop through. So I know, like as for me, especially at the beginning of the cornrow, I take it a little bit slower than maybe the remaining of the hair, because the hair is so fragile and it's so easy for that tension to kind of get away from you. So at around this point, and it's all depending on the length of your hair, but around this point, I grab the end of the previous cornrow and add it to this cornrow and continue to braid down. And again, that's just going to, that's like a finishing effect. Like it just makes it easier to finish off the braid that way by adding the previous braid to your new braid, so that at the end of it all, you don't have like these like 10 or 15 ends of the braids that you have to kind of flip back up or, you know, sew down and it's bulky in the back. So now I'm just going to continue with the same kind of parting and pattern that I have on this side and try to mimic it as close as possible to this side.
FBS.
Okay, so I'm done with everything, and I have those two little areas that I chose not to deal with as far as braiding them into my cornrows. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of this Cream of Nature Perfect Edges with Argan Oil, and it's just an edge control. And I'm just going to apply that to my little sideburns. I'm going to also add that to my little edges, just to kind of lay them back into the cornrows. You can put a scarf on for a few minutes and just to kind of allow the product to set in. You don't have to have the world's best edge control for this part. It's simply my way of just making sure that the hair is included in the cornrows as much as possible. So if you have very strong, very dense, and very long edges, and you can include it in the entirety of the cornrow, you may not even need to do this step. But again, for me, I'm just very, very careful around that part of the hair. This is pretty much the braid pattern. The braids are not super, super small. They're about roughly a finger, like an index finger width, kind of all around, as close to a finger width as possible. And again, I just think that that is a workable size cornrows. The size of the cornrows will vary from the density of your hair, the length of your hair. Just find a width that makes the most sense to make sure that your hair lays as flat as possible. I don't have the longest hair and I don't have the most fullest hair, so an index finger width is small enough for me to have like a flat surface, and the clean, neat partings allows me to have more versatility should I choose not to wear a nude stocking cap under my lace unit.
FBS.
So here's a close-up on the hairline. I'm still kind of working on it because I don't really want to like depend on baby hairs to kind of help camouflage the look of the lace and make it look natural. I totally get why baby hairs are there. It definitely does help, but I am working on a way that satisfies me enough that I don't have to really depend on it as much. And this way is pretty decent. What I've done is, I mean, if you look real hard, or maybe you don't have to look that hard, you can see where the lace begins and everything, and you can really see it now because it's a little dirty from my previous foundation and oil and products and stuff that kind of built up here. It's not super clean. What I would normally use is like some kind of holding spray with a little bit of shine to it and spray it right around the lace, and it makes the lace kind of disappear into the skin a little bit better. I don't really like to put makeup on top of it to camouflage it because I just feel like the makeup kind of settles into the texture of the lace. Like I feel like it makes it more visible. visible. It may make it look closer to the skin tone, but I think that it makes the lace more visible. So using a product like a hairspray kind of makes it look more like skin because it's a little bit shinier. It's not as matte, I guess. So I would use that, and that's all I use. I didn't use any like glue or anything. Right here, I would just spray it. This is my thermal spray, but I would just take it and just sit it there and push it back. And it just makes it a little better for my taste because, again, I don't like to like rely on baby hairs to help me do that. And sometimes you can go out of control with baby hairs. Your baby hairs be like 15 inches long and it's real thick and you just doing like finger waves on the side. Just it's just too much, okay? Yeah, I mean, it can get crazy, and I just don't. A little bit of baby hair never hurts anyone because we do have like that fine hair around the hairline, so that does lend to make it look a little bit more realistic. But especially since I rock very sleek hairstyles with this particular unit, having like no baby hairs and making it look as sleek and polished as possible really lends to, I guess, the aesthetic of this particular wig unit. Going out, this is going to be the unit that I do those really beautiful waves on. Everything is just like crisp and clean, so I'm not really worried about the baby hair. I don't know. Oh yes, baby, yes. If you guys want to learn more tips and tricks on how to rock your custom lace frontal unit or how to wear extensions in general, I do have a video coming up, and it's going to be jam-packed full of information for you guys. I promise you, you will shit your pants. Giving you information on how to like extend the life of your extensions and revive your extensions. It's a lot of information, so make sure that you guys are tuned in. Make sure that you guys are definitely subscribed. Turn your notifications on so that you guys are in the loop. When I pop up on your news feed, you'll know you're getting that tea, okay? And since you're gonna be subscribing already, make sure you hit that thumbs up. I love when you guys say, yes, I like it, I love it. And that's what the thumbs up does. It lets me know that you like it and you love it. If you guys have any suggestions for a future video, make sure that you comment down below. I am going to be reading my comments because I am fully at you guys' disposal now. I have missed you guys so much, and I'm here for you, okay? So make sure that you guys put in your video suggestions down below in the comment section. I will try my very best to get it done for you. That'll do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and subscribing if you have already. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Skirt Bears.